morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame right here. You can see an uptrending market right now with a breakout through the top of that Friday range. That was that big time Friday move. By Sunday evening, we had achieved the midpoint of that Friday move, giving us a new key range. Friday, obviously, big time push to the upside to close beyond the range on Friday, gapping up Sunday, holding Monday. This thing's already releasing some big time energy to the upside. And there's a 100% target of that Friday key range, and it takes us to 70.72, and we're almost there already. When we initially developed that key range, the idea was to watch to see how does it behave down here in this zone. How does it behave right in here? If we come in here for a rejection, do we get that upside move? Never quite got that low, stayed in the inner portion, but man, that was a big time rejection, a big time continuation, and we've seen this thing just lift with an upside target that takes us now to 70.72, 7,000. Could be underway very soon. Of course, today on a Tuesday ahead of Fed Wednesday, we could see further development range bound with an upward bias, and on Wednesday afternoon into Thursday and Friday with big earnings out of 5 of the Mag 7 stocks plus Fed and other big econ data points coming out later on this week. That could provide quite a bit of volatility this week, and that volatility could be mostly released to the upside. Any counter trend move, like we said yesterday morning, any pullback could be a buying opportunity as this thing races to 7,000 and beyond. So big time push, big strong move here. And if you look at the NQ, a very similar price action out of that key range. More lift out of the market in the NQ yesterday. So tech big time leading to the upside. You had a big time breakout here through the top of that Friday impulse move. All of that energy, high range volatility energy now coming out to the upside. Again, today could be mostly range bound with an upward bias. With this market now extending to the 100% extension here. So if we look up to the upside here, the 100% extension is 26,617. We're at 26 right now. Even if we get a pullback, call it 25.7 to 26.6 here, that could be your next move if this thing gives us any kind of counter trend opportunity here over the next day or two. So this thing is working its way higher the rest of the week. And as we mentioned before, if this was the turnaround here this week, and that was the continuation week, we still have 2 to 4 weeks of a upside move that could materialize to the upside. All right, looking at crude oil. We knew that upside could have a lower shelf life here, but one of the levels to watch that we mentioned yesterday morning was 60. If this thing pulls back to 60, can it hold? And if it can hold, does it lead to 66 up ahead? 66 is the top of the previous range. It's right there inside the value zone between the 200-day moving average and composite VWAP. So you have a lot of good confluence in that zone right there. And again, we'll see if this thing can hold here. At the moment, the reaction looks not the best, but perhaps it could continue to develop. So continuing to watch 60 and seeing if this thing can return back up here on a higher low either today or tomorrow, and that could open up a little bit of strength here. If not, we're back down like normal, and this market has been trending down. We've had a downward trending channel. We've come into this zone. If we can't recover 62s, then perhaps another rotation back down plays out. So 60 is going to be a big time level here to watch for crude oil. Gold down another 2% here today. Big time drop. One of the things we mentioned in our trading room on Friday was this range was huge and was going to lead to the next big move to begin the week this week, and 4100 was going to be the big level. If it takes it 4100 bid, we go to 43 to begin the week. If it fails at 4100, we drop to 39. And yesterday, it just took it offered. It took it offered in a big way. Dropped the rest of the session here, holding. There was a little bit of a counter trend opportunity on the intraday, but for the most part, this thing has been highly directionally bearish. It's given up the 4,000 level now and is retesting 39 here from above. Can it hold this zone? Can it recover 4,000 to bounce? Or are we still going to slide to find a strong low? So right now, in a downtrend, still trending lower right now. Any pullback to intraday VWAP could still be defended by bears until proven otherwise on an intraday basis. All right, looking at the YM. YM right now up about 0.5%, perhaps the most bullish of the equity futures heading into the RTH Open. 6 a.m. Central, this thing really started to blast off. 4:50 a.m. Central, this thing really started to blast off as well. So we've had quite a bit of strength, at least in pre-market spurts here. The previous session was a bit more muted, especially against tech. So today, this one playing a little bit of catch-up. Against that big key range here from that Friday sell-off, we're already working our way toward the 100% target. We could be there by the end of the week. Right here, 48.4 is that level. We're at 47.950 right now. Big time breakout through the top of that range. And we also have the larger range as well. We could use the even bigger portion back here as the larger key range here to here and back to the mid, and that gives us a really good key range to work with moving forward there as well. As of right now, that would be about a 2,000 point range, which puts us at 49.4. 49.4 as that upside target way up here. So not only do we have the short-term key range from that Friday coming into view, but we may still have more upside that takes us north of 49,000 up ahead. So very, very bullish for this market at the moment, with more volatility likely to enter the picture here Wednesday afternoon and into the end of the week. All right, looking at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin gave us a really, really good key range here by bouncing back Sunday and Monday. This bounce back here gives us that new key range here. I don't have that key range marked on this chart right now. I will. You can see the high to the low, and then it reached the key range midpoint here at about 115,490. And in doing so, we now have a 100% target that takes us at 150,700, something like that, 150,735. That's a big time target that could be hit this quarter. In the best case scenario here, we could be looking at full on upside extension. The best entry off that key range would be between 95 and 100 at about 97 and change here, and that right there could provide the best opportunity for a 50 to 55% move out of Bitcoin here this quarter or into Q1 of next year. So you're looking at 97 right here, and then you're looking at the potential here to go grab 150 up above. That's the idea. So there's the exact levels based off the current range of the market right now. You have 97,871. That would be your 25% extension for a push into 157.35. That would be a massive move for Q4 here if this thing can play out. Very short term, we do have an expanding range based off of this key range here. Then that would at least open the door to 131.9. So call it 132 from the 114 we're currently at. So there's upside here, even from a short-term perspective here. And it could materialize into a move to 150 over the course of the quarter. Can we get one more pullback again into 100K to get that 50% return? We'll see. All right, looking at ETH, this one and XRP both got midpoints as well. The XRP key range midpoint from 25% extension to 100% target would be a 100% return if that one plays out. This one here would provide a return somewhere in the 75% if it gets from the 25% to the 100% move to the upside, which is from about 3,600 up to the 5,900 zone, 5,913. So you're looking at 3,400 to 59 basically right there, based off of this recent price action, the recent buildup of energy. How do we play out here in Q4? Do we get one more pullback and go? That right there could be a huge move as well. So building some energy here in crypto, a surprising turnaround when it could have easily failed, and when that's the case, things tend to go quite bullishly. So keeping an eye on crypto here as these new key ranges have developed. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out here heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.